a tutti, I'm your host Rossella and welcome to Cooking with Nonna. This marvelous creature next to me is Nonna Linda, so tell everybody where you come from.
I come from Brooklyn, New York, but my ancestry is Piemonte in the northern part of Italy.
So let's take a closer look and get to know our Nonna.
I was born in Brooklyn, New York, and I'm an only child. Back in those days, I think even today in Brooklyn, we go to specialty stores for our meats, specialty shopping for our breads, the fish. We don't buy everything in one supermarket, and that's what we did. We knew all the people by first name basis, and you go in and they would ask how the family was doing, and you'd ask them how their family was doing, and we were one big happy family. I really started assisting my mother and my grandmother when I was probably about 8 years old. But I didn't start cooking by myself until I was married. I struggled in the beginning because my husband came from a big family. He came from a different section of Italy than I was from, and so they had different style foods. So I really had to learn when I was about 20 years old how to cook all over again. When I married my husband, he had 3 children from a previous marriage, Roseanne, Tina, and Vincent, and they were young teenagers. And now they're all married and they have children, so I have 6 step-grandchildren ranging in age from 10 years old to 15 years old. I haven't started cooking with my grandchildren yet, but I understand 2 of them are already making breakfast. One is making French toast and the other one is making omelets. I'm a retired school teacher, and so now I've been retired for 31 years. And I do community service work. I'm very involved in New York City Parks and Recreation. So I've spearheaded a conservancy in New York City for the shoreland parks in Brooklyn. I would say the secret of cooking is to cook what you enjoy eating. That's about it.
So Nonna Linda, you hail from the north.
Yes.
What are you bringing us?
Frittata Dolce, which really means frittata dolce.
Frittata Dolce.
Yes, it's a sweet dish.
Piemonte dialect coming out.
Yes, it is.
Well, let's get started right away.
Okay. So we want to take some milk.
Some milk?
And
so what's in this frittura dolce?
well, we pour the milk, and now we're going to take the farina, which is the base of the dish.
So for those of you who don't know what farina is, it's an Italian wheat cereal, like a hot cereal, kind of like an oatmeal, but it's got a much more fine texture. And when you cook it in milk, it's very creamy and delicious, kind of like a cream of wheat.
And a pinch of salt.
Just a little bit of salt. There we go.
We want to bring this to a slow boil. And we have to stir constantly so it doesn't lump. Okay.
Lumpy farina,
That
that's not good.
wouldn't be good, no.
So is this a dessert? Is it an appetizer? Enlighten me here.
And this is an accompaniment to meats. In particular, it's wonderful with lamb and beef, and you can also serve it as a side dish with chicken or pork.
Wow. Now we want to wait for this to thicken?
Yes, that's correct.
So you got to stir it up constantly. Don't leave. And how long does this usually take, this process?
I would say this takes about 5 to 8 minutes.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so this is thickening. We can add the sugar now.
We are ready for some sugar. Get that all in there, just a little bit.
And the lemon zest.
Light sweetness. We got some zest going on. Beautiful color. Oh, and as soon as that zest hits the heat, you can smell it.
And now some lemon, just a bit.
Just a little
Just
touch,
a little
maybe a
bit.
tablespoon of lemon
Yeah,
juice.
that's not more than that. And now we're almost ready to pour this into a dish so it can harden.
How many times do you think you've made this in your entire life?
I don't know. I give away my age.
Oh, no. We don't do that. We're classy on the show.
See how it's starting to come away from the side of the pot? That means it's just ready now.
Oh.
Okay.
And all the bubbles. Bubbles are a good thing, right? Bubbles
Yes,
means
they
it's
are.
done.
It's done. So I'm going to turn off the burner.
Okay. We're ready to transfer to a plate. We're using a pie plate because it's got the right amount of thickness that we want, right?
That's correct.
How thick are these pieces
Well,
supposed to be?
about, I would say about an inch thick.
So they
would be
hold
good.
together nicely.
Right. I'll hold and you pour,
Yep.
and you,
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Okay, got it all in there.
yes.
Oh, that looks wonderful.
Let's just smoothen it out so it's all about the same size going across.
So you have a nice even
Same.
surface.
Same thickness, exactly.
You don't want to just throw it in and put it in the fridge.
And now it's ready for
Won't
the refrigerator.
magically fix itself in the fridge. But we're gonna let this sit up in the fridge for about
About a half hour.
half hour. You want to make sure it's completely cooled so your pieces don't fall apart.
Exactly.
So when your farina has been hanging out in the fridge and it is all set, it will look like this. And it will be very firm to the touch.
Right.
And I almost got some bounce back here. And we're ready to cut, right?
We are ready. So,
What kind of shapes are going to make?
we're doing the traditional diamond shapes. So we just make long cuts along this way.
So is there any significance to the diamond shapes?
The only significance is that my mother used to cut them in diamond shapes. So that's the way I cut them.
Is there any way I could cut out letters and spell Rossella?
You probably could do that.
Alrighty.
All right.
Once your shapes are all cut out, you're going to make an egg wash to batter sort of your frittata pieces. Crack some eggs. Go, and just like a touch of water.
A touch of water, yes.
Okay.
That's good.
And for all of you at home who are about to laugh hysterically at my my egg beating skills, please reserve your comments. I've heard it before.
Oh, that's good.
Good?
Yes.
Good enough?
Perfect. Yes.
All right. And we also have some breadcrumbs. And I'm going to wait for the pretty pieces.
Yes. Okay. here's your
That's
first one.
nice. Just dip it in the egg. And roll it around in the breadcrumbs. This is great. So is there anything else you could use besides breadcrumbs?
You could use cornflakes.
Oh, cornflakes.
As long as they're ground up very fine.
Just, blender, food processor, cornflakes, and...
And today panko is all the rage. You could use panko also.
I do like panko.
Now while you're doing that, I'll heat the butter.
Good idea. So we're frying in butter today.
About 3 tablespoons.
Very Piemontese of you. Because if we were in the South, we'd probably end up frying these in olive oil.
That
because
is
that's
correct.
what we do with everything,
All right, our butter is ready.
Our butter is ready for our pieces of farina. How'd your husband take frying in butter? Because he's Southern, right?
Very much not accustomed to this.
No?
No.
Well, they say first comes love, then comes marriage, and then comes the butter. Is there any time you made this where maybe it didn't go well? I mean, this just seems so easy and hard to screw up.
The very first time I made this, it was a disaster. I made it for the wedding party who came over right after we were married, and they were all sitting at the table waiting to be served, and I hadn't even started this yet. So a lesson for everyone is that it can be prepared well in advance. It can be frozen at this stage before you fry it, and then you just pop it out of the freezer, let it defrost, and then you can fry it.
And how do you know when you can turn these?
Well, you just take a little peek, and you want them to be golden.
About a minute on each side then.
Yeah, approximately. It's just about ready now.
Because our farina is already cooked, we just want
That's
the breadcrumbs to brown. Nice golden brown crust.
And so they're ready.
Just like this.
Just like that. Okay,
Oh.
they're ready.
They are ready, and I'm ready to taste them. Wow. Golden brown and perfect. And this was so fast. This was so fast to make, especially if you have them already frozen in advance. Just pop them out, thaw them, fry them.
Okay. Ooh. I'll just use my fingers. Nice crunch on the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the inside, it's kind of firm, but still very soft. It's kind of like a custard, like a set custard, and the zest is a really nice subtlety to this. I
Wonderful.
love it.
Lemon flavor is wonderful.
Wonderful thing about Italy, lots of lemon. Can't stop eating this, but I have to. And say goodbye to you, but thank you for being here, and thank you for being my nonna.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you.
Mwah. Ciao.
Ciao.